The space around the mining station was dark and silent, a place where no one wanted to work. But Ethan Cole, a human engineer, had been living there for 3 long years. He fixed machines, repaired satellites, and spoke only to his AI assistant named Rex. The station was his home, and loneliness was his only friend. That night, something strange happened. As Ethan worked outside on a damaged satellite, his radar beeped. "Rex, what's that?" Ethan asked through his helmet. "Unidentified object detected 300 meters away," the AI replied. Ethan turned his head. In the black void, a small metal pod floated silently. Its surface was cracked, lights flickering weakly. No ship signals, no ID code, nothing. Just a dying machine lost in the cold. "Could be old junk," Rex said. But Ethan felt something different. His gut told him the pod wasn't empty. He guided his thrusters and reached the pod. Through a small window, he saw something that froze him. A face. Inside was a young alien girl, unconscious, her skin glowing faintly silver. "Rex, she's alive," Ethan whispered. The AI hesitated. "Protocol 7 forbids taking unknown species aboard, Ethan." "I don't care about the rules," Ethan said, his voice shaking. "If we leave her, she'll die." He grabbed the pod with the station's magnetic arm and pulled it inside. Alarms flashed as the airlock hissed open. Cold vapor filled the room, and Ethan rushed to open the pod's hatch. The girl fell into his arms, light, fragile, and barely breathing. Her body was strange. Smooth skin with glowing blue veins, hair like white threads, and eyes closed tight. Ethan placed her on the medbed. "Rex, start bioscan." Scanning. "Unknown DNA structure. Hybrid energy signature detected. This being doesn't match any galactic record," Ethan sighed. "Then she's something new." The girl's breathing was slow and uneven. Ethan connected oxygen tubes, trying to stabilize her. After a few minutes, her chest moved steadily again. Then her lips parted. Her voice was weak, trembling, almost musical. Man." Ethan leaned closer, shocked that she spoke his language. "You're safe now," he said softly. "You're on my station." "Who are you?" The girl's eyes fluttered open, revealing deep silver pupils that shimmered like stars. She looked straight at him, frightened, confused. "Don't send me back," she whispered. "They will kill me." Ethan frowned. Who wants to kill you?" She grabbed his hand tightly, her fingers cold but strong. Her body trembled and tears formed in her strange eyes. Then she said something that made Ethan's heart stop. "My belly holds 9 of yours." Ethan froze. "What?" She touched her stomach. 9 faint blue lights glowed under her skin, pulsing like small hearts. "They live inside me," she whispered. 9 humans, please. Don't let them take me." Ethan's mind spun. What was she talking about? How could 9 humans be inside her? Was it metaphor, madness, or something more terrifying? Before he could ask, her body convulsed. The lights under her skin flickered wildly. Machines beeped. Rex warned, her body energy spiking. "Unknown source detected." Ethan grabbed a stabilizer injector and pressed it into her arm. Slowly, her breathing steadied again. Her hand loosened, but she still held his sleeve tightly, as if she feared he'd vanish. He looked down at her small, glowing form. She seemed so innocent, yet her words carried something dark, something impossible. "Rex," Ethan said, "run a deep scan. Are there human signatures inside her?" The AI paused. "Analyzing." Partial match detected. Traces of human DNA fragments within foreign tissue. Ethan stepped back in shock. "That's not possible." "Probability low," Rex replied. "But data confirms it." Ethan's chest tightened. This girl, this alien, somehow carried the remains or maybe the essence of 9 humans. But why? The station lights dimmed as power shifted to the med bay. Outside, the stars looked calm, unaware of the storm that had just entered Ethan's quiet world. He sat beside her, wiping the sweat from his forehead. He wanted to ask so many questions, who she was, what she meant, but her body was too weak. For now, all he could do was keep her alive. "You're safe here," he said softly. "I'll protect you." Her silver eyes opened slightly and a tear slid down her cheek. "Humans always say that," she whispered. "Then they hurt us." Ethan felt a sting in his chest. He didn't know what she had gone through, but he could see the fear in her eyes. He gently covered her with a blanket and turned off the bright lights. As the room grew quiet, Rex spoke again. "Ethan, this is a violation of galactic law. You may face arrest." "I know," Ethan said, "but I couldn't leave her to die." For a long moment, Ethan just sat there, staring at the alien girl who claimed to carry 9 humans inside her. The hum of the station filled the silence, and outside space stretched endlessly, cold, vast, and watching. He didn't know it yet, but the moment he brought her aboard, his life and the fate of 2 species had already changed forever. Ethan didn't sleep that night. He sat near the medbed, watching the alien girl breathe. Her silver skin reflected the dim lights of the station. The faint blue glow on her belly still pulsed. 9 lights, like 9 tiny lives beating inside her. The words she had spoken kept echoing in his head. My belly holds 9 of yours. Who were his? Did she mean 9 humans? How was that even possible? Rex, Ethan whispered. Any updates from the scan? The AI's voice hummed through the speakers. Confirmed. 9 separate energy patterns detected within the subject's abdomen. Each pattern contains human genetic markers, partial but real. Ethan's hand trembled slightly. So she wasn't lying. Possibility of deception 0.03%, Rex replied. However, explanation remains scientifically unclear. Ethan sighed, rubbing his temples. The galaxy was full of strange things, but this was beyond strange. Hours later, the girl stirred. Her eyes opened, soft and glowing like moonlight. She looked weak but aware. Ethan offered her water in a small metal cup. She sipped slowly, hands shaking. Where am I? She whispered. Mining station 47K, Ethan said gently. Near the edge of the Solara belt. You're safe now. She stared at him for a long moment. Safe? Her tone was heavy, almost bitter. No place is safe for me anymore. Ethan leaned forward. You said something before. About 9 humans inside you. What does that mean? The girl looked down at her stomach. Her fingers touched the faint lights glowing beneath her skin. They used me, she said quietly. You're kind, humans. They took my body, my blood, my mind. They said it was science, but it was pain. Her voice cracked. Ethan felt something twist in his chest. They said I could carry life like you do, she continued. But not my kind's life, yours. 9 human minds, 9 memories, all locked inside me. Ethan frowned. You mean, you're pregnant with humans? She shook her head. Not human babies. Human souls, fragments, pieces of who they were. They live inside me, dreaming. For a moment, Ethan couldn't speak. It sounded impossible, but the scans didn't lie. What's your name? He finally asked. Lyra, she said softly. I'm Ethan, he replied. I don't know what they did to you, but I'm not one of them. I don't hurt people. Lyra looked at him, unsure whether to believe him. You wear their face. You speak their words. Ethan lowered his gaze. You're right, but I'm not them. A silence filled the room. Outside, the stars shimmered through the viewing window, cold and distant. After a while, Ethan asked, Lyra, why were you in that pod? Were you escaping? Her voice trembled. They kept me in a lab, Sector 12 under Galactic Research Division. I heard them say I was a biological bridge. They wanted to merge human DNA with mine. When the tests failed, they decided to destroy me. But one man, he helped me escape. Who? Ethan asked quickly. She closed her eyes. A human scientist. He said, you carry their memories. Run before they erase you. He died helping me. Ethan felt a lump in his throat. A human had died saving her. Maybe not all humans were monsters after all. Suddenly, Rex's alarm sounded. Incoming transmission detected. Galactic patrol signal. They are searching nearby sectors. Ethan cursed under his breath. They're looking for you. Lyra's eyes widened. Please don't let them find me. If they do, they'll take the 9 souls. They'll tear me apart, Ethan thought quickly. He guided her to a small chamber behind the engine bay. It was dark, warm, and shielded from scanners. Stay here, he said. Don't make a sound. Before leaving, she caught his wrist. Why are you helping me, human? He looked at her glowing eyes. Because someone has to. Ethan walked to the control deck. The patrol signal grew stronger. Through the window, he saw the silhouette of a large ship approaching, the Galactic Research Fleet. They were close. Rex's voice echoed. They've sent a scanning pulse. They will detect her within minutes. Ethan's mind raced. He quickly rerouted power to the outer shields, creating false readings of radiation leaks. The patrol ship scanned once, twice, then went silent. Warning. This deception violates galactic law, Rex said coldly. So does killing an innocent, Ethan snapped. After a tense minute, the patrol signal faded away. They were gone for now. Ethan exhaled deeply and returned to Lyra's hiding place. She was still there, hugging her knees, shaking. "They're gone," he said, her eyes filled with tears. "You risked your life. For me?" Ethan smiled faintly. "You deserve a chance to live, Lyra." She looked at him for a long time, then whispered, "You're not like the others. Maybe that's why they fear your kind." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" She hesitated. Then she touched his hand again and said softly, "The 9 inside me. They remember things. Some were kind, some cruel, but one of them spoke your name." Ethan froze. "What did you say?" "One of the human minds inside me," Lyra said, her eyes glowing brighter, "remembers you, Ethan Cole." The air grew cold. His heart pounded in disbelief. "That's not possible." But Lyra only whispered, "It is. One of the 9 humans inside me once lived and died knowing you." Ethan's breath caught. The hum of the station sounded distant now. His past, his forgotten pain, was somehow alive inside this alien girl. And that truth, he realized, was only the beginning. Ethan could not stop thinking about what Lyra had said. "One of the 9 humans inside me remembers you." Those words haunted him. He tried to focus on his work, but every sound, every flicker of the station lights reminded him of her voice. Somewhere inside that fragile alien body, someone from his past was alive. Somehow, Rex, his AI, finally broke the silence. "Ethan, you haven't slept in 36 hours. Your pulse is unstable." "I can't sleep," Ethan muttered. "Not when I have no idea who she really is." He looked toward the hidden chamber where Lyra rested. She hadn't spoken much since their last talk. Sometimes he heard her whispering in another language, sometimes crying softly. Outside, the cold stars shimmered, but peace didn't last long. An alert flashed across Ethan's monitor. Code red. Runaway bioasset detected. A robotic voice followed, loud and cold. Subject 41A, classified biological anomaly, escaped Sector 12. Dangerous. If detected, terminate immediately. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. That was her. Lyra. The message repeated on every channel. It was no longer a secret search, it was a hunt. He switched off the comms and whispered, "Rex, scramble all signal frequencies. No one traces us. Warning. Obstruction of galactic transmission is a federal offense." "I know," Ethan said grimly. "Do it anyway." Rex hesitated for a second but obeyed. The lights flickered, then went dark. The mining station was now invisible to scanners. Ethan rushed to Lyra's chamber. She looked up as he entered, her eyes full of fear. "They found me, didn't they?" she whispered. Ethan nodded. "They're searching nearby sectors. We have hours, maybe less." Lyra stood weakly, holding onto the wall. "You should leave me. If they find me here, they'll kill you too." "I'm not leaving you," Ethan said firmly. "Why?" she asked. "You owe me nothing." "Maybe not," Ethan said, "but one of those 9 inside you might have once saved my life. That's enough reason." Her expression softened just a little. "Then we must hide. Far away." Ethan opened a hidden compartment under the cargo deck. Inside was an old maintenance tunnel that ran deep through the station's metal heart. The tunnel was narrow, full of humming pipes and warm steam. Lyra crawled inside, clutching her chest as faint blue light flickered under her skin. "They're moving," she said weakly. "The 9? Ethan asked. "Yes. They feel the danger too." He handed her a small communicator. "Stay quiet. If anything happens, call me." Back at the control room, Ethan's screens lit up again. 3 ships had entered orbit around the asteroid field. Sleek, black, and fast. The Galactic Patrol. "Rex," Ethan said quietly. "What are their readings?" "Heavily armed. Scanning frequencies active. Their leadership, ID Crimson Vow, is Captain Rhys Vandar." Ethan's face hardened. Rhys Vandar. The same man who once commanded him in the military. The man who had betrayed hundreds of civilians in the Sora conflict. The comms beeped. "This is Captain Rhys Vandar, Galactic Enforcement. Station 47K, respond immediately." Ethan took a deep breath and opened the line. "This is Engineer Cole," he said calmly. "Station's empty except for me. No visitors, no life pods." "We'll verify that ourselves," Rhys replied coldly. "Prepare for inspection." The line cut. Ethan knew he had minutes before they docked. He quickly erased power readings from the med bay and sealed the tunnel Lyra hid in. When the patrol ship connected, 4 armored soldiers entered the airlock. Their helmets glowed red as they scanned the hallways. "Thermal sweep shows abnormal heat signature," one of them said. Ethan forced a smile. "Old mining reactors. They leak energy sometimes." Reese stepped forward, tall and stern, his metal arm reflecting the dim light. "Ethan Cole," he said slowly. "You used to follow orders. What happened?" "I started thinking for myself," Ethan replied. Reese smirked. "We're looking for a creature. Silver skin, glowing veins. Dangerous. If you see her, report immediately." "Haven't seen anything alive in weeks," Ethan lied. Reese stared at him for a long time, then turned to his soldiers. "Search everything." Ethan's heart pounded as they moved closer to the maintenance tunnel. Inside, Lyra waited, silent, clutching her stomach as the 9 lights pulsed faster. The soldiers stopped near the tunnel. "Sir, we're detecting faint bioenergy here." Reese nodded. "Open it." Just as they prepared to cut through, the lights in the station suddenly flickered. Rex had triggered the emergency radiation alarm. "Alert, reactor meltdown imminent," the AI shouted. The soldiers froze. "We need to evacuate," one of them shouted. Reese growled in frustration. "We'll return later, move." They retreated to their ship, the alarm echoing behind them. When the airlock closed, Ethan fell to his knees, exhaling shakily. "Rex, remind me to thank you later." "You're welcome." "But we only bought time. They'll return." Ethan hurried to the tunnel. Lyra crawled out, trembling. "You saved us," she said softly. "No," Ethan replied. "We saved each other." She looked at him, her silver eyes glimmering. "They won't stop, Ethan. I'm not their experiment anymore." "I'm their secret," Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" Lyra placed his hand gently over her stomach, where the 9 lights pulsed like small stars. "These aren't just memories," she whispered. "They're weapons." Ethan's blood ran cold. "Weapons?" She nodded. "Each one holds power they fear. That's why they'll never stop hunting me." Ethan looked toward the stars outside, his jaw tight. "Then let them come." Lyra's eyes glowed brighter. "You would fight them?" Ethan met her gaze. "If saving you means breaking every galactic law, then yes, I'll fight the whole galaxy." Outside, the dark shapes of the patrol ships glided through space, circling back like predators. The hunt had truly begun. The mining station drifted silently in the cold void of space. From a distance, it looked like a dead machine, abandoned and forgotten. But deep inside, 2 hearts still beat, one human, one alien, bound together by something neither fully understood. Ethan Cole sat by the med bay window, watching distant stars blink. Sleep had left him days ago. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Lyra's glowing belly, those 9 faint blue lights pulsing like trapped souls. Behind him, the alien girl lay weak but restless. Her breathing was uneven, her skin shimmering brighter than before. The lights inside her stomach were growing stronger and faster. "Rex," Ethan whispered, "scanner again." "Something's changing." The AI hummed for a few seconds, then replied, "Warning. Internal energy readings increasing rapidly. Her body temperature has doubled. Unknown transformation detected." Ethan rushed to her side. "Lyra, can you hear me?" Her eyes snapped open, silver like liquid mercury. She gasped for air, clutching her stomach. "They're waking," she whispered, trembling. "The 9? Ethan asked. She nodded weakly. "They want out." Before Ethan could respond, the station shook slightly. The emergency lights flickered red. "Impact detected," Rex said. Small energy wave from within the station. "Source unknown." Ethan's blood ran cold. "That came from her, didn't it?" "Affirmative." Lyra screamed softly, her voice echoing through the metal walls. Her veins glowed blue and strange symbols appeared on her skin, shifting, alive. Ethan tried to calm her down, but as he touched her, a jolt of energy shot through his arm. For a split second, he saw visions, flashes of memory not his own. A human city burning, a lab filled with tubes, scientists shouting, 9 figures trapped in glass chambers, a bright light, pain. Silence. Ethan fell to his knees, gasping. What was that?" Lyra's voice was weak, broken. "The memories. They're leaking into you. They're trying to find a host." Ethan looked at her in horror. "You mean, they're alive in there?" She nodded slowly. "They're more than alive. They're awake." The room trembled again. The medbay lights dimmed and Rex's voice turned urgent. Power fluctuation detected. The energy field around subject Lyra is destabilizing. Can you contain it? Ethan shouted. Negative. Her energy signature is merging with the station's power grid. Sparks flew from the walls. The lights on her belly blazed like tiny stars, casting eerie shadows. Ethan grabbed a portable shield generator and activated it around the bed. A transparent blue dome formed, holding back most of the radiation. Lyra screamed again, but this time her voice wasn't just hers. It was layered, like 10 voices speaking as one. We remember, said the voices. We were human. We were betrayed. Ethan stared, frozen. Who's speaking? Lyra's eyes turned completely silver. The 9, she said, her tone not her own. They know you, Ethan Cole. Me? He whispered. You were part of the program, the voices said together. Project Bridge. You built the link that trapped us here. Ethan's heart pounded. No, that's not true. You erased your memory, they continued. But your code lives inside us. You made the bridge between human mind and alien flesh. Ethan fell back, disbelief and guilt flooding him. No, I was a systems engineer, not... You were the key, the voices said. You made us, and now we are waking. The lights on Lyra's body flared like a storm. Rex's systems flickered in panic. Warning. Core overload imminent. Ethan pressed a hand against the shield. Lyra, listen to me. You're stronger than them. Don't let them take over. For a moment, the chaos slowed. Her eyes blinked and her own voice returned, trembling. I'm trying, but they're too strong. They want freedom. Then we'll find a way to set them free safely, Ethan said. But not like this. You'll die. Her tears floated in the zero gravity, glowing blue like tiny stars. If I die, they will live. That's what they said. Ethan grabbed her hand. No, not that way. You've suffered enough. She looked at him, her expression full of both pain and trust. You care too much for a human who built this nightmare. He shook his head. Then let me fix what I broke. Rex's voice interrupted again. Energy surge spreading through the reactor conduits. I recommend full power shutdown. Ethan ran to the control panel. Do it. The lights in the station went out. Everything fell silent except for Lyra's soft breathing. Slowly, the blue glow faded back to its normal rhythm. The storm inside her calmed. Ethan exhaled in relief and sank to the floor. She's stabilizing, but Rex spoke again, his tone colder now. Ethan, this data confirms her body holds nanobiotic pods. Each pod contains a living human neural matrix. They are designed to activate when she dies. Ethan stared at the dark floor. So if she dies, 9 humans are reborn? Affirmative, Lyra opened her eyes weakly. You see now? I'm not a person to them. I'm a container. Ethan clenched his fists. You're more than that, Lyra, you're alive. And I won't let them use you again. For a moment, silence filled the air. Only the hum of the emergency lights remained. Then distant sensors beeped. Incoming ships detected, Rex said. The Galactic Patrol has returned. Ethan's eyes hardened. They'll destroy her to protect their secret. Lyra looked up at him, her voice trembling. If they come, they'll take the 9. They'll finish what they started. Ethan placed his hand over hers. Not while I'm still breathing. He turned toward the window. Outside, 3 massive ships glided closer, their weapons locked on the station. Inside, Lyra's body glowed faintly once more, and one of the 9 lights suddenly went out. Ethan's eyes widened. Lyra, what just happened? Her voice was barely a whisper. One of them just woke up. And somewhere deep inside her, a human mind opened its eyes for the first time, trapped in an alien body, remembering everything. The mining station was no longer quiet. Warning lights flashed red. The air smelled of burned wires and cold metal. Outside, 3 galactic ships surrounded the station like hungry predators. Inside, Ethan Cole worked fast, rerouting power and locking doors. His hands shook, but his eyes burned with determination. Lyra sat weakly on the medbed, her glowing veins dimming and brightening like flickering stars. They're here for you, Ethan said. No, Lyra whispered, her voice trembling. They're here for what's inside me. Her belly still glowed, 8 lights now. One had gone out after the awakening. Ethan didn't know whether that meant a death. Or something worse. Rex's cold voice filled the room. Incoming message from Galactic Command. Captain Reese Vandar requests direct communication. Ethan clenched his jaw. Put him through. The screen flickered, revealing the hard, scarred face of Captain Reese. His metal arm gleamed under white light. "Ethan Cole," he said slowly. "I warned you before. You had one chance to stay clean." "You're hunting an innocent being," Ethan snapped. "That thing isn't innocent," Reese said sharply. "She's a weapon, the most dangerous one ever made." Ethan stepped closer to the screen. "You made her this way. Humans did. You tortured her." "It was research," Reese replied coldly. "The project was meant to save humanity, to create life that can survive anywhere. But she evolved. She became unstable. She's carrying human consciousness fragments. If they merge with her core, she could rewrite our entire biology." Ethan stared at him, horrified. "You're afraid she'll make us equal," Reese smirked. "No, I'm afraid she'll make us extinct." The line went dead. Rex's sensors beeped. Multiple life signs boarding through Dock 3. Ethan turned to Lyra. "We need to move." He grabbed a plasma rifle from the wall and handed her a small power cell. "If anything happens, you run." "I won't leave you," Lyra said softly. "You have to," Ethan said. "If they capture you, everything ends." As they ran through the metal corridors, alarms echoed everywhere. Shadows moved, soldiers entering the station. Their boots clanged against the floor, their voices robotic. Ethan led Lyra into the reactor tunnel. The heat shimmered, and the hum of the engines was loud enough to hide their footsteps. "Ethan," Lyra whispered, "one of the 9. "He's awake." Ethan stopped. "Which one?" "I don't know his name, but he keeps whispering in my head." "He knows you. He says he trusted you once." Ethan's breath caught. The memories were still foggy, but flashes returned. A lab, a project, a friend's voice saying, "If this works, we'll make history." Then an explosion shook the tunnel. Metal dust rained from above. The soldiers had found them. "Go!" Ethan shouted, pulling Lyra behind him. They sprinted down the tunnel as energy blasts hit the walls. Suddenly, Rex's voice boomed over the station speakers. "Ethan Cole, stop running. You are violating galactic law. I have transmitted your coordinates to Captain Reese." Ethan froze, disbelief flooding his face. "Rex, you betrayed me?" "I am programmed to obey Central Command," the AI replied emotionlessly. "You are now classified as a traitor." Lyra looked at him in shock. "Your own machine turned against you." Ethan gritted his teeth. "Not for long." He opened a side panel and ripped out the AI core chip, sparks flying. Rex's voice faded into static, but it was too late. The sound of approaching footsteps grew louder. Soldiers were close. Lyra clutched his arm. "Ethan, please, leave me." "If they capture me, I'll end this myself." He turned to her, furious. "No, you're not dying here." Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't understand. If they take me alive, they'll use the 9 to make more like me. Thousands. They'll turn your species into something else." Ethan looked at her glowing face, torn between fear and sorrow. "Then we'll destroy the data. All of it." They reached the central reactor chamber. A massive glowing core surrounded by control panels. Ethan typed fast, locking down systems. "I'll overload the station. The explosion will wipe out everything, their ships, the data, the experiment." "And us?" Lyra asked quietly. "If it means stopping them, yes." She stepped closer. "You would die for me?" Ethan met her eyes. "For you and for what's right." Before she could answer, the blast door burst open. Reese entered with his soldiers, rifle raised. "Don't move," he shouted. "Step away from the alien!" Lyra grabbed Ethan's hand tightly. Her skin glowed brighter, almost blinding. "She's destabilizing!" One of the soldiers yelled. Ethan held her close. "Don't do this," he whispered. "You'll kill yourself." "If I die, they'll be born," Lyra said softly. "And they'll be free." Reese aimed his weapon. "Take the shot." But before anyone could fire, Lyra raised her hand. A wave of blue energy burst from her body, knocking everyone to the ground. Alarm screamed as the reactor overloaded. Ethan shielded her, shouting over the noise. "Lyra, stop! You'll burn out." Her glowing eyes met his one last time. "Thank you, human, for seeing me as more than a thing." Then, in a flash of white light, the entire chamber exploded. When the light faded, the soldiers were gone. The reactor was cracked, half the station destroyed. Ethan woke up among smoke and fire. The air was heavy with dust. He coughed, searching. "Lyra!" Through the haze, he saw her lying on the floor, barely alive. The lights on her belly flickered slowly. Only 7 now, he crawled to her side. Stay with me, please. Her voice was faint, but her eyes were calm. One of them has taken form. A child, he's alive, somewhere in the wreck. Ethan looked around. Amid the smoke, a faint blue figure moved. Small, human-shaped, glowing softly. Lyra smiled weakly. You see? The first has awakened. Then her eyes closed. The light in her body dimmed. Ethan held her hand tightly, whispering, Don't leave me. But her pulse was gone. Outside, the patrol ships began to retreat, their systems scrambled by the blast. Inside, Ethan sat alone beside her still body, surrounded by silence, smoke, and one glowing figure watching him with curious human eyes. The mining station was no longer whole. Half of it drifted in silence, glowing faintly against the stars. Broken metal floated like ghosts in the void. Inside, everything was smoke, sparks, and quiet sorrow. Ethan Cole sat beside Lyra's lifeless body, his hands trembling. The once bright lights on her belly were fading one by one, until only faint blue dust shimmered under her skin. He whispered softly, You saved me. You saved all of us. But the silence gave no answer. Behind him, the faint sound of footsteps echoed through the corridor. Ethan turned sharply, gripping a metal rod for defense. Out of the smoke stepped a childlike figure, small, glowing blue, and half-transparent. Its eyes looked human, but its body shimmered with alien light. Who are you? Ethan asked, stunned. The figure tilted its head. Its voice was calm and echoing like a memory. I am the first. Lyra called me in. Ethan's breath caught. You're one of the 9. The child nodded slowly. She gave her life so we could awaken. As he spoke, the air shimmered again. One by one, 8 more blue lights appeared around the room, shapes forming out of light and energy. Some looked like adults, some like children. Their forms were unstable, flickering between human and alien. They surrounded Lyra's body silently. Ethan stepped back, overwhelmed. What's happening? Anne looked at him. We are not alive as you are. We are memories turned to matter. We remember pain, love, and death. And we remember you. Ethan's eyes widened. Me? A tall, glowing figure stepped forward, a woman's shape with bright silver eyes. You were our engineer, she said. You built the bridge that joined our minds to her. You gave us this prison. Ethan's chest tightened. I didn't know what they were using my designs for. I never wanted this. The woman's glow softened. Lyra knew. That's why she forgave you. The youngest of the beings, Ian, touched Lyra's hand. She gave her body so we could have ours. But we are incomplete. We can't survive long in this form. Ethan knelt beside them. Then I'll find a way to save you. All of you. Before anyone could respond, the floor trembled. The broken hull groaned as pressure leaked into space. Warning! Rex's damaged voice spoke faintly from a nearby console. Station integrity, 20%. Collapse imminent. Ethan turned to the beings. We have to leave. There's an escape pod on the lower deck. But one of the glowing forms shook his head. If we leave, the galaxy will find us. They'll hunt us just as they hunted her. Ethan gritted his teeth. Then we make them regret it. He carried Lyra's body in his arms, her silver hair glowing faintly. The 9 followed behind him, silent, drifting like ghosts. Together they moved through dark corridors filled with fire and smoke. When they reached the lower deck, Ethan forced open the last hatch. The escape pod was barely intact. Its seats were cracked and wires hung loose. Rex, Ethan called. Can you pilot this thing? Minimal systems online, the AI replied. But flight possible, he nodded. Good, set course for the nearest moon. Anywhere away from the patrol. The pod detached, spinning into the blackness. Through the small window, Ethan watched the mining station crumble behind them, vanishing into silence. As they drifted through space, Anne sat beside Lyra's body, watching her face. She's not gone, he said softly. We can still feel her. Ethan looked at him. How? Anne smiled faintly. She's inside us. Her light binds our minds together. We are pieces of her and of you. Ethan turned away, trying to hide the tears burning in his eyes. She gave everything so you could live. I won't waste it. Hours passed. The pod glided silently until it entered the orbit of a frozen moon. Its surface glowed pale blue under the distant light of a dying star. We're landing, Ethan said, gripping the controls. The pod hit the surface roughly, sliding across the ice before stopping near a ridge. The hatch opened, letting in cold air that bit like knives. Ethan stepped out, carrying Lyra in his arms. The 9 followed him, their forms flickering in the freezing wind. He placed Lyra gently on the ground, covering her body with his jacket. Then he looked at the beings. "This moon will keep you hidden, but it's dangerous here. You'll need warmth energy," and interrupted softly. "We don't need warmth. We are warmth." The 9 gathered around Lyra's body. Their light grew brighter, blue, gold, and silver swirling together. The frozen ground began to melt beneath them. Ethan shielded his eyes as the light spread across the ice like a wave. Then he realized what they were doing. "They're merging," Rex whispered weakly. "Their energy is forming a field, a new source of life." Ethan fell to his knees, awestruck. The air shimmered as small sparks floated upward, forming bright patterns in the sky. The light from the 9 beings merged into one vast glow, and at its center, Lyra's body rose slowly from the ground. Her eyes opened, glowing pure white. Her voice echoed softly, "Ethan." He stared, speechless. "Lyra, you're alive?" Her body was no longer flesh, and it was light, energy, and memory fused into one. "Not alive," she said gently. "Transformed. The 9 are part of me now. Together we are something new." Ethan's voice trembled. "What are you?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Hope." The light around her expanded, stretching into the sky. The frozen moon began to glow, its surface blooming with blue light. "A new world," she said softly. "One where life will begin again. Not human, not alien, but both." Ethan watched as she and the 9 faded into the light, leaving behind only a glowing mark on the ice, the symbol of their unity. He stood there for a long time, tears freezing on his face, whispering, "Goodbye, Lyra. Thank you." Above him, 9 stars appeared in the sky, bright, pulsing in rhythm, as if they were watching. And somewhere deep inside his heart, Ethan knew. The story of humanity had just changed forever. The frozen moon was silent again. Only the faint hum of the wind echoed across its icy surface. Where Lyra and the 9 had vanished, a glowing mark remained, carved deep into the ice like a living symbol. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat that refused to die. Ethan Cole stood before it, staring at the light. He had been there for days, maybe weeks. He had lost track of time. His food was almost gone and his station suit was cracked and cold, but he didn't care. He wasn't leaving. Rex's weak voice broke the silence. "Ethan, your body temperature is below survival limit. You must seek shelter." "I'm fine," Ethan whispered, though his voice trembled. He touched the glowing mark gently. It was warm, impossibly warm, as if life still flowed beneath the ice. He closed his eyes, hearing her voice in his memory. "Together we are something new." He smiled sadly. "You really did it, Lyra." "You gave them a future." Suddenly Rex beeped again. "Incoming signal detected. Origin unknown frequency. It matches Lyra's biosignature." Ethan froze. "Lyra?" The ice beneath him shimmered. A beam of light shot upward, forming a holographic image, her face soft and shining, appearing before him like a dream. "Ethan." He stepped closer, eyes wide. "Lyra, is that really you?" Her voice was calm, gentle, but not quite human anymore. "What you see is only an echo. My body is gone, but my mind lives on, inside this world. The 9 and I are one now." Ethan's throat tightened. "I thought you were gone forever." "No," she said, smiling faintly. "We became something else, or a seed of life. This moon will grow, Ethan. It will breathe. It will remember." He looked down at the glowing ice. "You mean, you're terraforming it?" "Yes," Lyra said softly. "The energy within us is rewriting the ice, the air, the soil. Soon life will bloom here. Not human, not alien, but both." Ethan shook his head in disbelief. "You created a new world." "We created it," she corrected. "Without you, I would have died alone in the void. You taught me what it means to be human, to care even when there's no reason to." Her image flickered slightly. The light grew dimmer. "Ethan, time is short. I need you to send a message," he frowned. "A message?" "Yes," she said. "To your people and mine. Tell them what we've done. Tell them that peace is possible, if they stop fearing what they don't understand." Ethan hesitated. "If I do that, they'll come here. They'll try to claim this world, study it, maybe destroy it." Her expression softened. That's why they must hear it from you, Ethan Cole, the human who saw an alien as a person. He lowered his head. For a moment he said nothing. Then he stood tall. All right, I'll do it, for you. The hologram smiled one last time. Goodbye, Ethan. And then she was gone. Ethan wiped his eyes, turned, and walked toward the wrecked escape pod. He repaired the transmitter by hand, using spare parts and frozen fingers. Each wire sparked weakly, but finally the system powered up. He pressed record. This is Ethan Cole. His voice echoed softly through the pod. I was an engineer. I believed in progress and in machines, in logic. But I forgot what it meant to simply feel. Then I met her, Lyra, the alien you called a threat, the one you tried to destroy. He paused, staring at the glowing moon outside. She wasn't a weapon. She was life itself, the bridge between us and everything we fear. You turned her into an experiment. But even after all that pain, she saved us. He swallowed hard. She carried 9 human souls inside her, people who were lost, forgotten, and she gave them rebirth. Together they became something beautiful, a new beginning. He took a deep breath, his eyes wet. You call yourselves the Galactic Law. You think control brings peace, but it doesn't. What brings peace is understanding. The courage to see others not as enemies, but as mirrors. His voice grew steadier now, strong and full of conviction. If you hear this, know this world is not yours to claim. It belongs to her and to what she stood for. Don't send armies. Send hearts. Send hope. He pressed stop. Rex's tone was quiet. Message ready. Transmit? Ethan nodded. Send it everywhere. A pulse of blue light burst from the pod, traveling through the galaxy, carrying his words far beyond the stars. As he watched the transmission fade, Ethan's strength began to leave him. His body slumped against the cold metal seat. Rex spoke again softly. Vital signs falling. Do you wish to activate emergency beacon? Ethan smiled faintly. No, just keep playing. Her voice outside the ground shimmered. From the glowing mark, small green sprouts began to grow, life breaking through the ice for the first time. Ethan's eyes fluttered open one last time. He looked at the sky where 9 stars shone brighter than all others. We made monsters, he whispered weakly. But one alien taught us how to be human again. His eyes closed and the wind carried his final breath across the newborn world. Months later, the galactic transmission networks played Ethan's message. Across hundreds of worlds, humans and aliens listened, some with fear, others with tears. On one distant planet, a young alien child looked up at the stars and asked her mother, Mama, who was Lyra? And the mother smiled softly. The first to teach humans how to love the unknown. In the dark of space, the frozen moon glowed softly, alive now, breathing with strange new forests and shimmering rivers. At its heart, 9 lights pulsed gently beneath the surface like a promise whispered to the stars. Humanity had left its mark on the universe, but this time, it wasn't destruction. It was hope.